Good morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you for tuning in to Breakfast with Jesus. Hear the word of the Lord. 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 2. And what you have heard from me in the presence of many witnesses, entrust to faithful men who will be able to teach others also. Pass it on. We are born to reproduce. And as spelled out in Genesis, we reproduce after our own kind. Paul was a faithful disciple and he became a discipler, passing on the torch. Wherever he went, he always had a team of fellow travelers who shared his experiences at first hand. In Romans chapter 16, we see a list of 30 persons mentioned by name. In his Dictionary of the New Testament, Xavier Leon-Dufour says this about the biblical meaning of disciple. In the New Testament, the word does not appear except in the Gospels and in Acts. It is never a case of the pupil who receives instruction from a master, but always of someone who shares a close and definitive relationship with one person. Hirsch adds, we are all familiar with the gospel stories, where Jesus selects a band of disciples, lives his life with them, ministers with them, and he mentors them. This approach to the formation of followers was common in the Israel of Jesus' day. Most rabbis would initiate and develop their schools of thought through similar means. It was this life-on-life phenomenon that facilitated the transfer of information and ideas into concrete historical situations. Disciples therefore learn from a living laboratory. Iron sharpens iron. Quotation from Gary Kuhn. Christ poured 3 years of his life into the 12 disciples. Near the end of this time, approximately 6 months, he spent nearly all of his time with them. Thus, Christ, the master discipler, felt it necessary to do this to ensure the massive multiplication of the Christian church over the following quarter of a century. If there had been a better way, Christ would have used it. You would not have been impressed if you had been an uninvolved bystander at that period of time. There were not more than 500 followers at the time of Christ's death, and many of these were only peripherally involved. Yet Christ was satisfied with his work, for he saw in his disciples the future multiplication of the church. Breakfast with Jesus. This is Andrew.